Hi, my name's Mark McCallion and I'm the Director of the Maribyrnong Sports Academy. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this parent information presentation. To start with, I wanted to just clarify exactly what you are applying for if you choose to apply for a place in the program. It's a government-funded sports scholarship. So we get funding from the government to deliver this program for the student athletes that are in the college. So families pay a small annual fee to access the program, which we estimate is in value of excess of $15,000 per year if you're accessing similar services externally. What we're delivering is a high-performance sport program within a government high school. We have 575 student athletes as part of the population of 1,300 that are in the total college. And we're providing for those student athletes a daily training environment. Our mission is to support and develop each individual student athlete to maximise their potential athletically, academically, and in citizenship. So I'll break those down and explain what we provide in those three areas. To start with, we have a staff that is highly experienced and skilled at working with teenage athletes, but also some of them have extensive playing backgrounds of their own. So athletically, we provide a program that we call HPC, or High Performance Coaching. And that's basically a coaching program or training sessions before or after school in the sports that are listed on the screen there. If your child participates in a sport that's not on that screen, such as swimming or gymnastics, they can still be part of the program, and we class them as associate athletes. So associate athletes access their coaching externally, but then access all other parts of the program within the college. The next part athletically is a program we call High Performance Preparation, or HPP. HPP is a graded subject. It includes the strength and conditioning, so the work in the gym, and it also includes education on sports psych, nutrition principles. For those at the upper end, there's some media training and other support services. Basically, we're trying to get them ready for the things that they'll have to deal with as an elite athlete. We have 6 full-time strength and conditioning staff that work within that program. And the aim of the strength and conditioning component of the program is to develop the student athletes' skills and strengths over their whole time in the program, to prevent injury, but importantly to set up a young body to be able to cope with an elite workload if they do happen to progress into the elite system down the track. The third part of our program from the athletic point of view is what we call athlete services. So athlete services, so our student athletes actually have access to one-on-one sessions and discussions or consultations with our wellbeing staff, with our performance psychologist who's employed 2 days a week, our sports dietitian who's employed 3 days a week, and we have a physio on site every day. We also have 3 rehab coordinators who work one-on-one with any injured students to get them back to full fitness as soon as possible. Some of the partners we work with as part of the athletic side of the program are on the screen now, and there are many more. But all of our sport programs are either formally or informally endorsed by state and national sports. So talked a lot about the athlete, but also to talk about the student. So Maribyrnong College is a VCE only school, so we don't offer a VCAL program. So the program is actually set up for those potentially that are looking for further study after secondary school. But we do have a broad range of subjects for those that aren't necessarily academically minded. So there is an ACE program for those that are more academically gifted. There is a program that extends their experience from the academic point of view. We offer 5 weekly reports so that parents and teachers have a 5 weekly check-in to see if student athletes are up to date and if there's anything that needs to be done to support them in further from a workload point of view. We have minimum academic standards, so you can't fail all your subjects and put no effort into your subjects and still be part of the academy program. So there is an expectation on the academic side and minimum academic results that students need to achieve. It doesn't mean they all need to be A grade or A plus students, but it does mean that their effort for their academic side does need to be there. We have specific career counselling. We have many students that go on to US college pathways or elite athlete programs within universities in Australia. So we have some specific career counselling around those. And we also try and provide an athlete-friendly environment so that teachers understand that the time constraints that some of the student athletes are under because of their heavy training loads or the other pressures that are on student athletes that may not be on all other students. Then the third area of citizenship, we have a number of programs in place. We're trying to develop good people. So we've got a culture program, leadership. There's a variety of things that we've put in place that we try and work with students on the people side and the citizenship side. So does the concept work? I've got these stats up here from 2019 because obviously 2020 was such an interrupted year. But in 2019, we had 168 of our student athletes made it into Victorian teams or state teams, and 39 actually represented Australia in a national team. So certainly one measure, but yeah, certainly a measure of how many of the kids in the program actually are progressing in the pathway. So then from the academic side, so Maribyrnong College is a high-performing government high school. We had a VCE completion rate of 99 plus. So those that start VCE, certainly the high majority of those finish. And some of the Year 12 results for 2020 were extremely pleasing. We had 13 students in the school that scored 90 plus, and including 6 student athletes. So just to demonstrate that you can have that heavy sport load, but still achieve academically if you do put the work in. We actually had 2 students in the school that scored 99 plus. And one of those was a student athlete who's actually just been offered a full scholarship at Princeton University, which is an amazing achievement. So she's got a full academic scholarship and also will be part of the Princeton's hockey program. 88% of the students that finished VCE received a first round offer for tertiary study, and 95% have now got a further study destination. So these results put us in approximately the top 20% of government schools in the state. The staff believe in the concept. We did a survey of staff and asking them how likely they'd be to put one of their own children into the program if they had a child with some sporting talent. And it came out as a 9.64 out of 10, indicating that staff genuinely do believe it is a high quality program and they'd have their own kids in it. So just to finish, a few things to consider before you put your application in. One is the travel. So if your child's got to be here at 7 a.m. in the morning, or will be here till 5 o'clock at night, which can happen depending on the training schedules, how will they get to and from the school? Is that possible? Are you comfortable with them on public transport that early in the morning or that late at night? Have they got other friends in the program that they could travel with? Those sort of things need to be considered because they can be a big impact on family. And the impact on the entire family also needs to be considered. So it's not just the travel side, but we know some families that the household's up at 5 or 5:30 in the morning to get organised and get to school on time for an early morning training session. So how will that impact your family, your household? If everyone's up at 5 a.m, what are they like that night? Are they, have you got grumpy kids on your hands at 6 p.m. That evening, etc.? So we certainly do encourage families to consider the impact on the entire family. The type of training or the grind of training. So certainly student athletes in the program train more than most other teenagers. And for some that can become a grind and it is hard work. So is your child someone who you think can cope with that? and he has got the personality and the drive to really flourish in that type of environment. Clashes with other coaching or programs. So student athletes in the program that have to train with our coaches. So that's the priority. So if there's a clash between a sports academy training session here and an external training session, you're on a government scholarship, the training session with the Maribyrnong Sports Academy would take precedence, and we would expect that. If it's a state or national team training or trial, that's a different thing altogether. But please understand, if your child is in a sport where they've got their own personal coach or a club coach, if there was a clash, we would be expecting them to be at the school training session, not the outside training session. We've had some challenges with that in the past, but as long as you understand that before you apply. And the last one is just the first term adjustment. So student athletes in the program, I say they get the triple whammy. They get the change from primary school to secondary school and all the challenges that come with that. They get the workload goes through the roof. So compared with what they're used to from homework point of view and the training load and those sorts of things. So they're certainly going to be busier. And then often they've got the travel as well. So they're not traveling to their local school. They may have to travel a lot further to get to this place. So there's a big adjustment in that. And we just encourage families that are signing up to understand those challenges, and that first term there will be an adjustment for the boy or girl that's in the program, but potentially the whole family. So they're the main aspects of the program. There's also a frequently asked questions sheet that we'll post on the website as well. If you had any other questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to contact the Academy and have a good look at the website. There's a hell of a lot of information on there. And look, we'd love to see those applications come through. We look forward to seeing your child, if you do decide to apply, at our trials. And then we'll make our selections from there and welcome the 100 lucky students that are selected as part of the program for 2022. Thanks for listening. And if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us.